Honestly, I couldn't believe we actually got this interview for today. I'll tell you why, because I want you to think back when last you heard a Skwatta Kamp album. I'm not asking you to think when last you heard their music, but it's being played for years and years and years. Why? Because they're an institution. When was the last time? Quiz, you get nothing, you get mahala, you get zero for getting this right. But I want you to have some fun while I introduce, of course, two of the members from Skwatta Kamp. And of course, it's a tragedy of a band, but no one can revive and come back out and do what you guys have done, considering what you've been through. Tragedy, of course, everyone knows. But the new album, first of all, I saw this, the press release drop yesterday morning. I was like, on Freedom Day. On Freedom Day. I was like, of course they've done Freedom Day. And then I saw with our producers last night, I was getting you guys on this morning. I was like, no, can't be. Can't be. Morning, how are we doing though?
Good. And yourself?
We're good. I was very excited for this because can I give away how long it's been since the last album now? It's 15?
15 years. We're on the eve of.
I mean, what, you must have been, you must have been 18 and you were what, 19 years old? 10. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, so literally 15 years. I mean, like, we're on the eve of it because next year marks 15 years since the last project. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long time, and I mean, we've been working on this album, safe to say, for like 3-4 years. It's been long, because like even our other partner, who's not in the images but he's actually on the album cover over there, Nish, you know, unfortunately we lost him due to COVID, but he's on every song on the album. And like literally past that, we've just spent a lot of time tweaking, fixing, doing this, doing that, and making sure that we get the project ready, you know, and we needed to also be in the correct headspace, and you know, to be able to come out and promote it properly.
I want to talk about that headspace because, as I mentioned, not just an incredible industrious-sized group that you guys are as well, but to have gone through Flabber, have gone through the death during COVID, to still come out and still be going. I mean, talk to me about headspace on this. I mean, this must be probably, if not the most personal albums, one of the most personal.
I think with us, we go through different organic processes when creating an album. First of all, with Skwatta Kamp, it's different from most groups because we have like authentic brotherhood and sisterhood as well with Rilo, you know. So losing Flabber at a crucial time, because we started speaking about recording the album around, you know, probably like a year before he passed, you know. And we started things like #bootcamp, Skwatta Kamp bootcamp, where we train to say we want to get into that mode, you know, looking good and losing weight and everything. And then his passing happens, and now we have to go back to the drawing board and say, what do we do? Do we continue recording the album? Do we heal first? What do we do? And like, I think releasing or writing songs like There You Go was basically the beginning, you know, of the new era, you know. And as a writer, you also need to heal, you know. Because
you heal through the writing, don't you?
You do. But you must also understand that we're a group that delivers content. We're not just a fun group, you know. So we had to like heal, because we normally heal people with our music as well.
I was about to ask, because that's what people come to you for. To feel the music, to hear the music, to heal themselves. And you're actually doing it for yourself as well. So this is the new album, the 7th album. Love it. Love the design as well. So when people start looking at this now, and I'm not going to be ageist. Just do me a favor, put your hand out quickly like this. Put your hand out. Okay, you can't reach me because now you're older than you were. I was scared you're going to hit me if I say old. That's why I was checking how close you could get to me.
As long as I look good, I don't mind.
Looking good? I think so. I think both looking great. Better than me. You should be doing the show, not me. So, does the music change? I mean, now that it's 15 years later, do you try and do a more... Again, don't try and hit me. More mature sound. I don't know what the word is to use.
You know what it is. It's like we kept honest to our formula of making music, which has always been make the music that is relevant and resonates with you. So from we're now in our 40s, and we're taking it from like when we're in our 20s, you know, essentially. So when we're in our 20s, that's also what we did. It's like we were the voice of the youth. I mean, back then, like, I mean, with the early working days or tertiary or this or that, or just come out of high school, etc. So everything that we were believing in and what we saw and the energy of the time, what we experienced on a daily basis, that's what we put in the music. But because we're also like alive, we live in the streets, we live in the culture, we haven't like locked ourselves up for all these years. So every year, like growing with the music, staying in touch with like people, culture, where the genre is going and so forth. And then basically putting that out now and saying, all right, now, what are the issues that affect us in our 40s and late 30s? And essentially, I mean, we started recording this now in our late 30s. So it was like, boom, all right, cool. This is what is affecting us now. These are the situations. And also bearing in mind that we have an audience that has grown up with us, you know, and that who are now also parents, who are, you know, business people, who are this, who are that. And there's also people who are still younger, like a 25-year-old who might be a single mother, and they might, instead of just like hearing party music all the time, she might also be looking for something that's going to appeal
almost
to her situation.
Grown with you as well. That's what I wanted to ask them. Is obviously we all remember Manisa, Landela, the Clap Clap song. I think everyone remembers all that. So when writing this, I'm always curious, as bands get older, more mature, are you trying to write music for the audience that you grew up with, that grew up with you, or are you trying to go for the younger? So who do you appeal to, and can you separate them?
I think
because it's probably those kids now of your fans back then.
Music is energy, and energy is natural. You know, I think for me, you're representing your feelings, you're representing your whereabouts in life, you're representing your future, your present, and your past. You know, when you write music. So it shouldn't be about you. You know, once you start thinking, then it will disturb your writing process. Once you start overthinking what it is that needs to be said, you need to speak from your heart. Because, I mean, as you can see now, the music has changed, and because of the energy, and energy is life. And I feel, as Skwatta Kamp, it's always been a case of being honest, you know, telling the truth. So the truth doesn't change. That's why we've made songs like Landela years ago, but they're still quite relevant even now.
That's right.
It's all in honesty, you know. The fact that we've made, I think we're the hip-hop group, the only hip-hop group that in the early 2000s, that I think it was 2002 when we wrote a song about gender-based violence, you know, which is still quite relevant now.
In fact,
another song about gender-based
so
violence that we're going to put in an album later, in the deluxe version of the album, you know. And it's still relevant. If you listen to Landela, it's still the truth. Like Smakx was saying, there's people who grew with us and who were like single parents. Some of them lost their friends. And when you listen to There You Go, it's not necessarily a song dedicated only to Flabba or Niche, but it's just literally for everyone to heal. It's medicine for everybody.
We suffered loss.
To heal. Yeah.
It's such a
so that's
wide
for me, that's the
song.
process. When you write, you don't write to, obviously you get affected by things that are happening. You get affected by social ills and stuff like that, but you write from your own heart. You know, instead of you trying to follow trends or sound a certain way, because music is taking this direction.
And the direction of the music, we're going to be getting a great performance from you. Thank you for doing that. You're going to close the show out for me later, by the way. So that's going to be all up to you. It's not just you guys, of course. It's there's a lot more sitting behind. They're all hiding. We see you there hiding on our couches.
Also.
We're going to make sure you're on TV later. So I want to just give me final thoughts then. What are we expecting from 7th, and what are you playing for us later?
I mean, 7, SVN, once again, people got to know it's the 7th album from the group, you know, celebrating at the core, the 7 core members of the group. And also, like, I mean, our young and wild, you know, free ways, whereby, so, of course, it plays on the, you know, explicit content of SVN, because that's the nature, and paying homage
Sex, violence, nudity.
Exactly. So that young rebellious spirit that we always had, we want to make sure people still carry that energy. So great music, quality music, and that's what I know people will appreciate and enjoy. Just go get it. Listen, enjoy it, start to finish.
It's out now. Is it streaming?
It's out now.
You can go get
Streaming.
You can download it, anything, but play it everywhere so everybody can hear it.
Especially ahead of a long weekend as well,
Exactly.
which is great. By the way, we put the rest of the crew on camera. I don't think you saw. There's a camera above you. By the way, oh, there it is. Wave. Give us a wave. There's the camera. There it is. Yeah. You see, people come into Studio One thinking they can hide. We will find you. Trust me. That's Oyama Giedwa, our technical director. He's like, I got a camera for them. I was like, where?
We got you.
There it is. Up there as well. So the song you're going to perform later, very quickly. Who wants to grab that?
It's called Pezulu, and it's basically, the chorus is a prayer. You know, it speaks about social ills, like Smakx has been saying. We have situations in the country, the black tax situation that people are scared to talk about. We have situations of single mothers raising children. We have single dads. You know, we've got people who lost people. It's just about social ills.
Like growing up.
It's about growing up.
It's about your journey from 20 to 40. What's it like?
Yes, the difference though. Growing up doesn't mean you're growing old.
No.
Doesn't mean that.
It's basically a song about adulting.
Adulting. Oh,
Yes.
And we're all adulting, whether you're 20 or you're 50, we're all
doesn't it
adulting.
suck? Doesn't it
Nowadays,
suck?
when you're 18, you're already adulting.
Yeah.
It's that crazy.
Adulting sucks. Guys, thank you, gents. Wonderful. Thank you to you, the band, for coming in. I couldn't believe I was getting you on the list when I saw this press release yesterday.
We really
thank you to my
appreciate
team for getting you in, and honestly, all the best with the album. It's out. If you're listening to music, wherever you're listening to music, that's the album you're looking for.
So it's the album. It's called SVN 7 Pezulu.
That's what you want. And that's what's coming up for you a little bit later. You're going to close the show out for us as well. So don't you go anywhere.
Can't wait.
We're going to talk money, not just the money they're making, but how are you making money this morning? 32 after 8. Let's see what the markets are looking like.